Thank you all for joining us. My name is Darren Pai, and on behalf of Hawaiian Electric Company, I'd like to welcome you to our news conference this morning. This morning, the Hawaiian Electric Companies filed with the Hawaii Public Utilities Commission a motion for a comprehensive program to help grow solar energy in Hawaii in a way that's safe and sustainable and fair for all customers. In just a few minutes, we're going to be joined by two of our executives who will help explain this development in more detail. First, we're going to be joined by Colton Ching, our Vice President of Energy Delivery, and he's going to talk to us about some of the progress that we've made on integrating more solar energy and technical solutions that we've developed to help install even more solar and more quickly. Then we'll be joined by Jim Alberts, our Senior Vice President of Customer Service, and Jim is going to be talking to us about some of the details of the program and walking us through that. So anyway, with that being said, first I'd like to welcome up Colton Ching.
Thanks, Darren. Our companies are transforming to deliver a more affordable, clean energy future for our customers. As part of that transformation, we're proposing a new program to allow rooftop solar to increase in Hawaii in a way that's safe, sustainable, and fair for all of our customers. The Transitional Distributed Generation Program, as we're calling it, is one of many efforts to achieve bold energy goals by 2030. And those goals are to increase the use of renewable energy to more than 65%, to triple the amount of distributed solar power, mostly from rooftop solar, and to lower our customer bills by 20%. We continue to show leadership in solar energy in 2014. At the end of 2014, there were approximately 51,000 PV systems installed across Oahu, Maui County, and Hawaii Island. Of those, nearly 11,000 were installed in 2014 alone. That translates to about 400 megawatts of PV installed across all of the 5 islands that we serve, making a significant contribution to our state's clean energy portfolio. Currently, approximately 12% of our residential customers have rooftop solar. That's more than 20 times the national average. And we continue to work very closely with the PV industry to develop technical solutions to help us integrate even more solar power. We've been working on these technical issues on many fronts. First, we're on track to approve by April applications for 2,500 customers on circuits with very high amounts of PV who have been waiting for approval. We have a very productive collaboration with the PV industry that's helped us to develop new performance standards for inverters. In fact, we're working with Solar City, with the Electric Power Research Institute, and the National Renewable Energy Lab on industry-leading tests to study circuit impacts of high levels of PV. We've also been installing equipment to monitor the power flows on circuits with high levels of PV. And we're making upgrades on our grid to improve PV integration. We made a lot of progress, but we know there's still more to do as we increase rooftop solar. Now, I'd like to call on Jim Alberts, our Senior Vice President of Customer Service.
Thank you, Colton, and welcome everyone. I'm pleased to share with you the new program that we propose today. It's a critical step in increasing and ensuring the sustainability of the rooftop solar program in Hawaii in a way that's fair, continues reliability, and provides fairness for all customers. But first, I want to have a special note. Any program changes from this proposal would only apply to new customers. Agreements with existing net energy metering customers and those with pending applications will not be affected. So this is only a forward-looking proposal, not related to people who have current contracts. The new program would create a sustainable way to integrate more rooftop solar so that the cost of the operating and maintaining the electric grid are more fairly shared among all customers. Currently, the cost of grid operations and maintenance is increasingly being shifted from customers who have PV to those who don't have PV. In fact, at the end of 2013, the annualized cost shift is recorded at $38 million. At the end of 2014, the annualized cost shift had grown to $53 million, and that number continues to grow. Under the transitional program, customers would be credited at a rate that better reflects the cost of energy produced by their PV systems, still providing a good payback on their solar investment. As an example, if this were in effect today, the rate on Oahu would move from 29 cents, which is the retail rate, to roughly 15 cents. The reason that this is important is that it represents the actual customer cost to produce electricity. It moves us to our fairness goal for all customers. In conjunction with the transitional program, we expect to be able to modify our policies by more than doubling the PV threshold on neighborhood circuits from 120% daytime minimum load to 250% of daytime minimum load. And in many cases, this will eliminate the need for longer and costly interconnection studies. To safely integrate higher levels of PV, rooftop systems will need to implement the newly developed performance standards that Colton referenced to make sure that the new equipment can help support the grid and make it reliable and safe for everyone. We'll make system improvements necessary to integrate more rooftop PV, working with the solar industry to help us prioritize where those upgrades need to take place first. To further support even more customers adding solar on high solar circuits, Hawaiian Electric will be doing several pilot projects that are called non-export and smart export projects that will also involve battery systems. Now we're including the local and national PV companies here in Hawaii. We've been in conversations with them. We're currently working on plans actively, and this will provide real-world operational experience for us to be able to grow these programs as we learn more about them. We're also going to offer a community solar program, and we think this is especially helpful for people who don't have access to a roof, say they live in an apartment or a condominium. This will continue to provide customers choices. The proposed transition program would remain in effect while the PUC works on the long-term plan and the docket that they currently have open. It'll be developed through a collaborative process involving stakeholders from across the community, including the solar industry. So as I just explained, the current system is shifting costs from PV customers to non-PV customers. And to help explain this, we have a short video that we'd like to play that will also be displaying on our website.
Upgrades to the electric grid benefit everyone, so it makes sense that everyone who uses the grid should help pay for maintaining and improving it. But this isn't what's really happening. Two friends, Sam and Ted, will help explain. They live in the same neighborhood, but Ted is in an apartment and Sam a single-family home. Ted pays $200 a month for electricity. A portion goes to maintain and improve the electric grid. Sam installed rooftop solar on his home. Through the net energy metering program, he receives credits for the energy his system generates. It covers his entire monthly bill except for a small amount. On cloudy days and at night when his solar doesn't produce electricity, Sam gets his electricity from the grid. But he doesn't pay his share to operate, maintain, and improve the grid based on what he uses. So who does pay? People like Ted, who don't have rooftop solar, pick up the costs for people like Sam. It makes sense that everyone who uses the grid should pay their share to maintain and improve it because everyone benefits from it. These improvements will allow even more renewable energy to be integrated into the grid and delivered safely and reliably to homes and businesses.
Okay, so to summarize, a key point is our proposal is not asking for any changes for customers who are already interconnected or waiting for interconnection approval. This is a forward-looking proposal. What the new program does is create a sustainable way to integrate more rooftop solar so that the costs of operating and maintaining the grid are more fairly shared among all customers who use the grid. If the PUC approves our proposal to address these issues, we would plan to move to more than double the threshold for PV interconnections, in many cases, again, eliminating the need for longer and costly interconnection studies. So we believe this is a comprehensive program. It's really set about in an approach that will help our state continue to increase PV in a way that's safe, sustainable, and fair for all customers. Thanks for your attention.